Well, good morning. I'll try not to, this mic works pretty well. I appreciate all of you being here this morning. This is really an exciting day, a landmark day, I think, for our women's basketball program to introduce our new head basketball coach. And it was a search process that I think was very thorough and very well done, and I appreciate and acknowledge and thank those people that were part of that. The person really most important at the end of the day is our Chancellor, Phyllis Weiss, my boss. And I'll tell you, I've got to say this publicly, I've said it before, we are so lucky at the University of Illinois to have Chancellor Weiss on board. And I wake up every day knowing she's going to make my job easier, and she's been a great supporter of DIA in the Fighting Illini. I also probably should say hello to my wife, Jenny. We don't see each other very much. It seems like when I see my wife, it's when I'm doing a press conference or I'm pulling in the driveway and she's pulling out. So to my wife, Jenny, thanks for being here this morning. But the real reason we're here is to talk about our basketball program moving forward and our new head women's basketball coach. I should tell you this, I usually don't have prepared notes, but when you talk about Matt Bollant's accomplishments at UW Green Bay, I have to sit there and say, this just can't be true. And for someone that's won 7 straight conference championships, has made 4 straight NCAA appearances, including a trip to the Sweet 16, he's won 88.6% of his games at UW Green Bay, 148-19, and he's gone 85-5 in conference play, winning 5 straight conference championships, and a combined record the last 2 years is 65-4. And his overall record is 282-55. That's not a misprint. That is real. And he's done a great job at UW Green Bay. They've been ranked as high as 9th this year, nationally in Division I women's basketball. I think right now they're 10th. Last I looked, and actually had a second-team All-American this year. And he has Big Ten ties. He was an assistant in Indiana when they won the Big Ten championship in 2002. I'll tell you the other thing that's impressive is he's 17-9 against BCS schools, and he's 6-2 against the Big Ten. And I can tell you the Big Ten isn't happy that Matt Bollant's here today being introduced as our next women's basketball coach, because he's going to do an absolute wonderful job. And the most important people in his life I want to introduce, I'm sure he's probably going to do the same as his wife Kari and his daughters Abby and Reagan. They've already got their blue and orange. You guys look great in blue and orange. We're excited to have you in Champaign. It's a special place. I can certainly attest to that. So anyway, the person you really want to talk to is the new head women's basketball coach at the University of Illinois, Matt Bollant.
Thank you. First of all, what a great turnout. You know, the coaches that are here, that's one of the things, you know, at Green Bay we have is that relationship. I know every one of the coaches. I know their families, and it's great for you guys to come out today. I do want to thank Mike Thomas, Jason Leonard. Obviously, they were huge in the process, getting to know them, getting to know their vision for what's ahead for this program. Chancellor Weiss, you being here today, I've heard nothing but great things about you as well. Weiss, I'm sorry. He said my accent sounds a little bit different. I know it's Weiss. But the Minnesota, I'm from Minnesota and have that accent. But just thrilled to be here. I do want to introduce my wife, Kari, Abby, and Reagan, our kids. They have an adventurous spirit. We've moved a great deal in our time. The coaching ladder has brought us different places, but we're here and hoping to be here for a lifetime. You know, I told Reagan, she's going into 6th grade, you're going to graduate from high school here. Great things, you know, are ahead for our program. I'm so blessed to be here. I will say, Ken Butoff and the players at Green Bay, you know, it takes a village to run a program. And Ken had a vision in hiring me. I was an NAIA coach. He had Division I head coaches applying for the job, and he got to know my heart, my character, my integrity, hired me over those coaches, and so blessed to work for him. I tell you what, the players at Green Bay, if you would watch us practice, you would be in shock. How hard, how intense, how great they are. And honestly, that was the hardest thing. You know, having to sit with them and tell them, you know, I'm leaving to go to Illinois. Those kids have been the neatest kids I've ever coached. But I met with the players today, and you know, it changes hard. And Going through transition is hard, but immediately you could see the smiles in their faces. You could see the hope of a future and what we can build here, and it was exciting to see them. Now, I knew all these players because I've recruited. Coming out of high school, we couldn't get those players to visit Green Bay. Those players were ranked way higher than our players at Green Bay. So I think when we practice right, we'll learn to play right. And when they do those things with the talent that we have, if they learn to trust me and they learn to do the right things in practice, it can be exciting how quickly this can go in the right direction. I'm also really excited to be involved in the community. Everywhere we've been, we've dove in head first. We've made great friends and built great relationships in every city that we've been in, and can't wait to be in Champaign. It's so fun to have people passionate about your university, passionate about women's basketball, and that's exciting to be here. I do want to also thank Vance Cheshire, Mike DiLorenzo. He came up and interviewed, flew into Green Bay with Mike Thomas and Jason Leonard. Great to them. And what a, I guess, sign for me of their interest in how important the women's basketball program is to have those guys flying in to Green Bay to meet with me. And then everybody here has been fantastic. To meet with Kathy Hug today, walking me to my car, walking me everywhere that I need to go so I'm not getting lost. And just everybody has been fantastic in reaching out here. It's been done here before. 1997, 98, they're selling out a gym, they're getting to a Sweet 16. It can be done again. Again, how fast, I'm not going to stand here and make promises of how quickly we're going to win basketball games. I will promise you this. You're going to have a head coach that's going to be in the community. You're going to have a head coach that works his tail off to make this great. I'm going to get up every morning and come to work and find a job that you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. That's what I feel like I have. And our players are going to learn to play hard. As talented as they are, when they give as much effort as they can give, good things will happen, and everything else will take care of itself. But thank you again for having me. I really appreciate the great turnout. I want to open it up to questions and just know that I'm really excited to be the head coach here. This is a great opportunity. I had some other opportunities as well, and from the start, this is the place that I wanted to be because of the potential I see in this program. So, thank you.
Marcus Jackson, Champaign News-Gazette. Being a Midwest guy, has it been a dream of yours that maybe the pinnacle being a Big Ten head basketball coach?
Yeah, I would say, we have gone, in the last 2 years, we've actually gone 6-0 against the Big Ten. But the opportunities at the Big Ten to recruit, to go get the very best players. If we're the 10th ranked team in the country, which we have been the last 2 years, we can go after any recruit. At Green Bay, we still struggle to beat out the Big Ten. We can beat them on the basketball court, but it's still because of the academics, because of the campus, and all those other things, it was a challenge. But if we can become the 10th ranked team in the country here, the recruiting, where we can go recruiting-wise, is pretty exciting. I don't know if I really answered your question, sir, but yeah, I am very excited. And obviously that's an opportunity. You don't leave the 10th rated team in the country for a team that won 9 games or 10, whatever they won, unless you think you can get it done here and where you can take this program to new levels. Other questions? Someone's got to ask him.
Yeah, well, looking at your roster the past few years, the majority of your players are from the Midwest, and a few from Illinois. What's your recruiting ties here in the state, and do you plan on going Illinois and then branching out from there?
Yeah, I really think that you have to be great within 5 hours. If you want to build a program and be great nationally year after year, you have to be great within a 5-hour circle. The great thing is, within 5 hours of Champaign, there are plenty of players. We don't have to go anything farther than that. So that is why the state of Illinois for women's basketball is as good as any state probably in the country. They're producing more Division I players, and at a level, players going to Stanford, Duke, Connecticut, Tennessee. In the last 2 years, there's players going to these programs. Now, we're not going to get every one of those players. I'm not going to stand here and lie to you and tell you we're getting every player out of Chicago. That's not the truth. We are going to get more, and just getting 50% of them. If we had 2 of those 4 kids that left, our program would be way better.
any decision on staff yet? Who's going to join you here?
Yeah, no, I'm meeting with some people this weekend. I'm speaking at the Final Four on Saturday, and then Saturday night have a meeting with a potential candidate. I have talked to other ones. Mike DeVilbiss, who is my associate head coach at Green Bay, if he does not get the head coaching job there, then he'll join me here. I'll save a spot for him. He's as good a teacher of the game of basketball as I've ever been around. And the rest of that we'll have to work through. But, I will say I probably will take my time. I think the staff is huge. Thankfully, we have a great assistant salary. And that's the thing I mentioned was probably the most important thing to me is have enough money to go get the very best. And that's my plan.
Coach, welcome aboard. I'd
Thank
like
you.
to ask if you can describe your offensive and defensive schemes and also pose the first political question, which is, will your daughters be graduating from Champaign or Urbana schools?
Good question. One, the system fits. I sat down and met with the players today. I talked about running a dribble motion. Against Kentucky, we lost the game by 3 and had a lead in the second half. We ran dribble motion. Calipari's dribble motion that he ran at Memphis. That's the first thing. Tomorrow when we have practice, I'll be putting in the dribble motion offense. If we played a game in 2 weeks, honestly, as talented as these young ladies are, we could be pretty good in that. We will pressure the ball defensively. We forced 30 turnovers against Iowa State. They hadn't had more than 23 all year. Them playing at home forced 30. We played Kentucky and forced 34 turnovers in the next game. So offensively, we're going to get to the rim. The dribble motion leads to layups and threes. I like open threes. I like both of those. So that's what we'll run offensively. Now, we'll run a couple of set plays here or there, but I want to teach them how to play, not run a play. What happens when you don't score out of a set play? Well, they better know how to play. And so we won't spend much time running our plays. We'll spend time teaching them how to play. And then they'll be visiting a school this afternoon and looking at that. And obviously that's something we have to go. So I don't have an answer to that. Not that I'm avoiding it, but we don't have that.
Jeremy Warner from Connect FM. You said you saw a lot of potential here. You're coming from a really successful program to a program that struggled maybe here lately. What specifically did you see that you thought this had great potential?
Yeah, well, no, I knew all these players coming out of high school. The recruiting class of juniors were ranked 3rd in the country a couple years ago. Well, how does Green Bay, who's the best we've ever had is 55th, how do they beat that team by 20 points? We do that by practicing right and playing right. Those players are athletic, they're talented, they learn how to practice the way we practice. It's pretty exciting. So I saw them play in high school. I know their level of athleticism. Obviously, they got to become more skilled. Coach Foster said at one time, when you're recruiting, recruit athleticism, recruit skill, but don't fall in love with either one. We're going to recruit both here. We're really athletic. We need to become more skilled, and that's something we'll be working on. Even tomorrow, we'll be talking about their footwork when they shoot. Making sure their balance is stepping into their shot and doing that.
I don't know if you saw many Illinois games this year, but that building over there's been kind of empty. How do you plan on getting more people in there and getting some excitement back around the program?
Yeah, I know that people love a winner. I love to say at Green Bay that we average over 3,000 people in the conference games because we're out in the community and doing that, which we are. I've spoken at every Rotary and Optimist Club and been out speaking every chance I get. But that has to be combined with a great product. The one thing I love about the Midwest, they love teams that work hard. They love teams that pass the basketball. And we had fans come. We sold out our arena twice this year. We sold it out 3 times in the last 2 years. Fans, when you have a good product to put on the floor, and then part of the women's basketball too is different than maybe men's basketball. They want the relationship. They want our players, young kids coming up, they want them signing autographs afterwards. I told our players today, I want you to treat them like they're your younger sister. And when they do that, they'll come back. And so that's where it starts. We have to do the community, we'd love to do the community stuff, but we've got to put a good product on the floor. And how fast that can happen will depend on the trust that we can build.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from the players? Are they kind of excited just to have this over and know what's happening going forward?
Yeah, they were really good today. And afterwards, Charisma and Adrian said, we're really excited. You could see the smiles on their faces, the excitement. They know how we play. Our half-court 2-1 trap, they played against it. And they struggled against it, so they know, what it can do. But it was fun to just talk to them, and I think they're very excited. Obviously, it's not an easy time. One thing, it's hard for young ladies to give their trust to somebody immediately. I can tell them the right things, but I got to back it up every single day. And I told them next year at this time, I really hope that you'll feel like everything I told you today, I'll follow through with. You can trust who I am. You can trust how I'm going to treat you, how fair and just. They may not always, agree with how much they play. They may not like the practice that we're going to hold them accountable and be stretched at times. but girls, they want structure. They want to put their head on the pillow at night and feel like, I gave my best today. That's a pretty good feeling.
Do you have any questions for Dr. Alex? Concerning our women's basketball?
Kent, I'll follow up Marcus's question about the building. You said in 1997-98 they sold out. That was a building that's about half the size of the Assembly Hall. Does the renovation have something to do with a smaller room? Do you know? Are you aware?
Yeah, I know that they're going to renovate and make it great. Obviously, it's a big piece in the recruiting. When you bring people on campus, you show them your facility. Unfortunately, that's part of the recruiting, and the wow factor is important. Now I've recruited to Bryan College, which still has arguably one of the worst facilities in the country. So the facility's not everything, but it makes a difference. And so I think doing the upgrade there will really help. I know people wonder, would you consider playing in Huff or would you play in Assembly Hall? That's something we'll have to work through. I'm hoping that we'll be too big for Huff, honestly. Obviously I know that's not right. You don't snap your fingers and all of a sudden 5,000 people are coming to the game. But that's my vision of where we're going. And so, we want the top recruits to see Assembly Hall and the renovation, and then hopefully we'll be over 4,000 fans at times. Again, this is a project. This is something we're going to build towards.
Any more questions for Coach?
Well, thank you again for being here. Looking forward to get to know all of you.